Okay. So when it comes to the roles, we have this term called RBAC. Okay. You just have to remember this name. We call it as RBAC. Okay. So what does RBAC stands for? RBAC, rule-based access control. Okay. So Oracle Fusion, follows this RBAC process when it comes to, the users' access and securities. Okay. So what does access and securities? Let's say if we take requisitions. Okay, so creating requisition is a privilege. Okay, and then how you wanted to create the requisition in a create requisition using job, using position, or create initiate blank requisition, or duplicate the existing requisition. These are all like another set of privileges. Okay, so if we want a user to create a requisition, but the user should able to create the requisition only using position, then what we'll do is we'll give them the initiate requisition privilege, and then we'll remove the other privileges which will give the user to create requisitions using other options. So this is a best example of why do we need to understand the roles and securities. So before we go more into the roles and securities in Oracle Fusion, right? We have we wanted to understand few basic rules. Okay? So every employee can have multiple roles. For example, if we take an employee named Ravi, okay? So Ravi might have multiple roles. He could be an HR specialist, and then he will also be an employee, and then he can also be a line manager. Okay. So in such case, what happens is if the employee Ravi, right, he has three different roles, and then how the system behaves that the all these three rules should be worked as an and operation. Okay. So it would be like HR specialist privilege also he can do, and then on top of it line manager privileges also he can do, and then on top of it the employees roles and the privileges can able to be accessible for the employee. So the rules will work on and basis. It will not work on or basis. It will all be like and. So basically, if we take line managers, okay, so we have like different kind of stakeholders here. So what a line manager can able to do? Line manager can able to create performance documents. Line manager can able to promote their employees. Line managers can able to transfer their employees. Line managers can also terminate their direct reporters. Okay. Direct and indirect reporters. These are some actions which the line managers can able to do. But when it comes to the recruiting, we have another role called as hiring manager. So what an hiring manager can able to do? Hiring manager can able to create requisitions. Hiring manager can able to submit the requisitions for approval. Hiring manager can able to create offers. Hiring manager can able to move the candidates across different stages. Hiring manager can schedule interviews. So there are multiple privileges what an hiring manager can able to do. So similarly, for which data the user can able to perform. When it comes to the line managers can able to perform all these actions only for the direct and indirect reportees. Similarly, the if we take the hiring manager, what the hiring manager can able to do, the hiring manager can able to do all these actions only for the requisitions for which they are the hiring manager, or only for the requisitions for which the subordinates or the hiring manager. Okay. So that is what the hiring managers can able to do. So next important role we have is employer role. So what an employee can able to do? The employee can able to view the workers, benefits. They can able to see their employments. They can able to submit absence. They can able to apply to the internal jobs. They can able to refer a candidates. These are some of the privileges what an employee can able to do. So for which data they can able to do? All these privileges, they can able to do only for themselves. Okay? So if I wanted to, applying absence, the employee can apply absence only for himself or herself. Okay? Only for themselves, they can able to apply absence. They cannot able to apply absence for others. Okay? Whereas line manager can able to apply absence on behalf of the direct and indirect reporters. So that's that's what the employer. Let's not worry about the payroll. For now, we will be too confusing. Okay? Now let us take human resource specialist. Human resource specialist is a seeded role which we have in an Oracle Fusion. Okay. So what a human resource specialist can able to do, again, human resource specialist can able to hire an employee, terminate an employee, add a pending worker, do a promotion, transfer, assignment changes, manage it. There are a lot of activities which the human resource specialist can able to do. Okay. So for which set of data they can able to this for for specific countries or okay, so they can able to do only for the specific countries or based on the keyword or the person security profiles, what is defined for them, they can able to do that. So these are the different kind of roles which we have in Fusion, and basically when it comes to the roles, we start with who, what, which data. That is how we start explaining to the customers as well. And in Oracle Fusion Rating, there are certain predefined HCM rules we have. Okay? So some of the predefined rules are like, employee role, line manager, contingent worker, human resource specialist, analyst, manager, payroll administrator. These are some predefined HCM rules. When I say predefined, what do I mean? These are Oracle seeded, roles. So these are all Oracle seeded rules, which comes as a standard out of the box from Oracle. Okay. And how do we know if, how do we identify if a role is, a seeded or custom role? Any role which starts with, the prefix ORA, okay, then these are, all seeded roles. It's very simple. Anything which starts with ORA, it is a seeded role. Okay. And then if you ask me, Harish, can't we create any custom rules using the prefix ORA? No, if you try to create any custom role using the prefix ORA, system throws an error. You can just take this as a, as an activity as part of your practice sessions. Hmm? So now, next we have something called as role inheritance. Let's not go into that for now. Next and the most important thing which you guys need to be aware about the roles is the different type of roles. Okay? So in Oracle Fusion, we have 5 different type of roles. Okay? First, we call it data role, abstract. We have data role, abstract roles, job roles, aggregate privileges, duty roles. Okay, let's start with data abstract roles first. Abstract roles, there are only 3 roles which are abstract roles in Oracle Fusion: employee, line manager, contingent worker. These are the 3 abstract roles what we have. Abstract rules, in short, we can say that these are the basic rules which is needed in order for the user to log in into the application. Let me also just check if there are documents. Just give me 1 second. So I just checked. I think I have also have one more document on this. Just give me 1 second. I just got the document. Just bringing up the notes. So as I was saying, we have the abstract role. So abstract role basically represents, the worker's role in the enterprise. Okay, independently of the job role, what are the worker roles? Okay? So there are 3 main delivered abstract roles, which I said, right? The employee, line manager, and the contingent worker. So these are the 3 Oracle standard, delivered abstract roles. Okay, these are from the HCM perspective, guys. Okay, so apart from this, you will see a lot of other abstract rules which is not relevant for the HCM module, but for the HCM module, these are the three abstract rules which we have. Okay? And you can also create your own custom abstract rules. So we'll see how to create our custom abstract rules. And then when it comes to the abstract rules, right, you cannot modify the predefined abstract rules. Okay? It's not only about the abstract rules, any predefined rules, any rules which starts with warrior, right? Abstract rules, or the job rules, right? The seeded rules cannot be modified. You can always take a copy of the seeded rules, and then you can able to make changes on it. Okay? And then you can assign the abstract rules directly to the users. Okay? I'll tell you the reason why I mentioned this once we look into the other rules. So this is about the abstract role. The next kind of roles, which we call it as the job roles. Okay? And then you will see a lot of job roles in application. So the what is a job role? Job role basically aligns with the job that the worker is hired to perform in the enterprise. So the job role could be human resource specialist, or the job role could be hiring manager. Okay? The recruiter, recruiting administrator. These are the different job roles which we have. And then human resource analyst, payroll managers, another examples of predefined roles. Okay? And then you cannot modify a predefined job role. Okay? The seeded ones cannot be modified. You can create custom job roles, and then we can able to make changes on the custom job roles. Typically, like the job roles, job roles in the HCM, data roles, and then we assign those data roles to the users. Okay? So that users will apply both the function and the data access in that way. So on top of the job role, basically job role, what does it do? Job role will give you access or the privileges to perform certain actions in the application. Okay? But in order to perform actions in the application, that you need access to the data, and that data will be given by the data role. And then there are few specialized job roles that do not require, the data access that is provided by the HCM job role and can be assigned directly to the users. One of the best example for this line is your recruiting administrator. Okay? The recruiting administrator role does not require any data access because the recruiting administrator will give you access to all the data in the application for the recruiting module. Right? If you remember, we talked about this in the at the beginning of our training sessions, where we saw which user can able to perform what kind of roles, what kind of actions, right? And then for the recruiting administrator, we say we cannot define any data role for the recruiting administrator because the recruiting administrator will have access to all the data in the applications. So that is about the job roles. And the next and the most important role which we have is the data role. So what is a data role? Data rules are nothing but it's a combination of the worker's job role and the data instance that the user with the role needs to access. For example, let's take a recruiter. So when we take recruiter, we can define, we have to give the recruiters the data access on what kind of requisitions they can able to access, what requisitions they can able to access in the application. And then, we also need to define, which candidates they can able to access in the application. So there are a lot of things, which we need to define when it comes to the recruiter, right? So that is what, we will define in the data roles. Let's take hiring manager as an example, right? Hiring manager job role, right? What are the data access which the hiring manager has to perform? So that is one thing which we define in the, that is what one thing which we define in the data securities. Okay, so we'll see data role in detail once we go into the applications. And then next we have something called as aggregate privileges. Yes, sorry, give me one. Yeah, sorry, guys. So next we have something called as aggregate privileges. What is an aggregate privilege? Aggregate privilege is nothing but it's a combination of multiple functions within the role. Okay? It could be within the job role or it could be within the data role. Okay? So for example, what I can take is like if we give a user to access a person record, and then as part of this there will be a lot of supplement privileges. Okay? So like they can able to access the work areas, they can task flows, they will have access to application pages, report. So this is then a combined combination of multiple uh, roles and securities in the uh, within in a single name is called, we call it as aggregate privileges. So next we have duty roles. So what is a duty role? Duty role basically it represents like a set of privileges that are granted together. Okay? So they combine like multiple functional security policies and things like that. Okay. So let's not worry too much about the duty roles and the the aggregate privileges for now. We'll see that you can just get into that once you get good control of abstract, job, and the data roles. So these are the three different data roles we have. First